Hello everyone, welcome to my channel.
Alright, so the intro is completely out of focus. I'm editing this video right now and it's just painful to look at. So let me spare you having to look at that. I'll just explain to you what I have here. I had a big bag of carrots that was about to go bad and I had to use it somehow. So I figured, why not pickle it? This is the perfect time to pickle it and show you how I like to pickle them. Besides the carrots, I'm also going to be using some cucumbers and onions and garlic for some extra flavor. And then I'm going to make the pickling liquid. We're going to put some spices in there, cool it down a little bit, pour it over the pickles, and then we're going to store the pickles in the fridge and we're going to have awesome pickles. The first thing I'm going to do is wash all my jars. These were brand new jars, so I just wanted to wash them. I don't know what was in them, and I just ran them through the dishwasher, and also washed the lids. This is just warm soapy water. While I cut up all the carrots, let's talk about fermenting and pickling. So we're pickling today, we're not fermenting. When you pickle, you use a lot of vinegar, a little bit of salt, and then whatever spices that you want. You then pour the liquid over the vegetables and put them in the fridge, and they're pretty much ready to eat right away or in a couple of days, depending on what the vegetable is. When you ferment, however, you're only using mainly water and salt, and you're letting the vegetables make their own acid, known as lactic acid, and the process is known as lactofermenting. That's not what we're doing here today. We're just doing a very quick, simple pickle. I will be doing a video later on about fermenting though. I also threw in a jalapeno in there just for a little bit extra spice, but I took the ribs and the seeds out because they're just gonna make a mess inside the jars. So notice how when I take their ribs out, I point the knife away from my finger. I move my finger out of the way so you don't cut yourself. My jars were pretty small, so I had to cut everything to fit inside of the jar. And also the onion, if you don't know how to cut an onion by now, I don't think you watch my channel enough. We're not gonna cut the garlic or anything, just give it a smash and peel it, and just make sure it's smashed a little bit so you release a little bit of the flavor, because we're not gonna cut it, we're not gonna cook it or anything. Always clean as you go and keep your work area clean always. It also really helps to stay organized while you're cooking. For the pickling liquid, I'm gonna use coriander, some star anise, and of course, black pepper. Freshly cracked, well, it's not really cracked, but it's fresh. First thing we want to do is toast all the spices just to get the aroma out of them. So you don't want to burn them. You really have to watch them when you toast them. So just keep giving them a stir, and as soon as you start to smell the spices, it's time to take them off. This does not take long. Be careful. And then you're going to go in with the water first, not the vinegar. And then you're going to put in the vinegar. I'm using regular old white vinegar here because it's cheap and readily available, but just use whatever else you want. And then 3/4 of a cup of sugar or some sweetener and about half a cup of salt. These things can be changed to your liking. Stir everything around and just make sure the salt or the sweetener, if that's what you want to use, is dissolved, and just let it cool down a little bit. While it's cooling down, we can get the jars ready. So I'm gonna start with 1 clove of garlic in each jar, a little bit of onions, and then I think a couple of jalapenos. I don't know what I did. I just made different jars all around. Yeah, I did a few jalapenos in each one, and then either carrots or cucumbers. But, you know, obviously feel free to change up the vegetables. Feel free to try a bunch of vegetables like I always say, or just take whatever vegetables in your fridge that are about to go bad like I did here and just make some pickles out of it and make them last for a whole lot longer. Then pour your liquid over the vegetables. Make sure that you cover them. I made sure to stuff the jars very, very tightly so that they're crammed in there and they're not gonna float up. You can always put a piece of plastic on top as well to keep them down. And then put a label and date on them, or at least put a date on them. This is a really good habit to get into. It's not as crucial for the pickles, obviously, because they're gonna last a long time, but for everything else that you have in the fridge, it's good to have a date on it just to have a rough idea when you put it in there.
So the end of the video is also out of focus, so I'm just gonna try them again right now and tell you how they are. These are the only ones that I have left. I went through the rest or I gave them away. Let's start with the carrots. This is a pretty sweet pickle. I like my pickles more on the sweet side, so if you don't, you could cut down the sugar. It's really a personal thing. Get another one. You can really taste all the spices in there too. This is a cucumber. I don't think I've opened this one yet. It's a good pickle. That's it for the pickle video. Hope you learned something. Go out there and make some pickles. Like I always say, go out there and experiment and try different things in your kitchen. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, leave a comment and let me know what you want to see, as always. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.